All right, I am going to go walk the dog again, and you can come with me if you want. Only if you wanna, you know? Ripley, are you okay? What's she on high alert for? Why you gotta be so stupid and your tail's wagging so hard and fast? You okay? Don't be stressed. All right, which dog is going for a walk? I took you yesterday. Hold on, Boom. Ugh. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Only one of you's going, and I think I know which one. It's gonna be the brown one today. Bring her back up. I forget which one Boomer wears. Is it this? Rainer, you're not going. You went yesterday.
Ripley, go kennel. Kennel.
Outdoor walk and ready and go. Okay, here we go. Come on. I'll be back. All right, we're out walking the dog. Looks like some neighbors are moving out or in. I'm gonna say out. They're loading a truck, not unloading it. So today we take the other idiot out. This is Boomer's day to shine. We try to take them all every day, but yesterday she did not get a chance. And I better make sure this is recording. It is. Okay, come on. Anyway, sometimes Boomer needs to mark the territory as well and confuse all the animals that come. Boy, that dog just pooped right in the street and nobody picked it up. That's great. You know, once again, proving my theory that everyone kind of sucks. And it's just the way of it. And normally if it's some trash laying around, I'll pick it up. But if your dog dookies it right on the middle of the sidewalk, that's not going to be my job today. Nope. No, sir, it isn't. I think we'll go under the tunnel today because it looks like it might actually rain on us a little. Serious clouds, looking a little ominous. So I got an email from somebody. I'm not going to read it or say it verbatim because I didn't bring it with me. I guess it's on my phone, but I'm walking the dog here. It basically said, "Oh, you're just venting, eh?" I was talking about me venting the other day about the state of things. Politically, was mostly referring to the ICE stuff, or not ICE, but the federal government's takeover of DC, that stuff. And guy said, well, you live in an 88% white area, which isn't true, actually. The state is, I suppose, but the Salt Lake City's not as much more diverse than people think. It says, and hasn't been irreparably damaged by immigration. And that's why he's frustrated with the brown people. He put it this way, something like that. I don't want to say it, but basically he was saying, yeah, easy for you to say. Which is a weird thing to say because my whole point of that was that a poor immigrant family who can barely make ends meet is not your problem. It just isn't. What did they come take from you? They took nothing from you. Right? So why the, well, whatever, I don't want to ask why, because I know why. I know the answer to this, and I'm not going to give any more oxygen to this BS people have bought into. I'm back to walk past somebody, so I might get quiet here for a moment. You'll have to wait and see how this goes. I guess I've kind of had it. I've had it with, you know what I did this, like today? There were some a-hole on some comment somewhere. It was YouTube or TikTok or something. Just, you know how people get. We're used to it, right? We've had plenty of years on the internet, 25 years or whatever it's been, almost 30 since the web. But the social internet, you know, that's probably 15, 20 years for the most part. We know there are people just sitting around with nothing better to do but bark off bullshit, and that's what they do, and that's fine. I know that that's just the way of it, right? There's too many factors, too many people. You can't control it. It just is what it is. But I used to be a lot more like, I'll give this guy the benefit of the doubt and have a little conversation with him, and I would open it up and say, okay, well, tell me why you feel that way, or what happened, or why. But I'm to the point now where I just think nobody's working in good faith anymore. If anything, I'm a little mad that I was led to believe as a young person that almost everybody came from a position of, at least somewhat a position of good faith, and that they, you know, if they had a point of view that differed from mine, well, if you talked it out, you would find your common ground, you would see where maybe the differences were, you maybe learn something, you know. This is very naive of me, but it was the way of it when I was younger. I felt like I was taught that. And I believed it. And it's not true. Like, there are plenty of people who do. But the internet, Boomer, stop. We're in a tunnel now, so it might get a little echoey. Apologies. But the internet, there's no no way to even track it or kind of know who's being honest with you or not. Like, it's not a thing. And as a result, I'm left with just, I don't care anymore, dude. So I got these comments on the YouTube channel that 10 years ago, I might have gone, oh, let me dig in here and see where they're coming from. You know, let me give them a fair shake. Let me give them a voice, and let me hear them out. And I'm so over that. So I just delete it. It's just beep, you're gone. It's like you were never there. You wasted more time typing your BS than it took me to delete it. And people who want to actually talk, I can tell when they do, because they'll say, hey, I'm not here to rile anything up, but I think you might be wrong about this. That's different. I don't mind that. That's a dialogue with people. I'll do that every time. But you come in and go, all the brown people ruined our city. Irreparable damage. I can't take you seriously. What does it even mean, irreparable damage? What was it before? And maybe don't make assumptions about where other people live, because you have no idea what our demographics are like. You may have some stereotypes, but you don't actually know. So if you want to have a conversation, I'm here for it. But if I can tell you're just being a butt, well, why bother? I'm done. This has been a overall effort here to focus on content and creation and planning and proactive stuff instead of worrying about what anyone says or thinks. By the way, I have a sneaking suspicion this goes for really any voices in your life who maybe even innocently are just slowing you down because they feel like they have to have something to say about every damn thing. Boomer, what are you doing? Go this way, baby. Boomer. She's a little more, when she stops to smell something or whatever, with Rainer I can just barely tug and she'll come running. Oh, I got people to pass. Hello. Okay, so anyway. Come on, we're going this way, babe. You haven't pooped yet. Does that mean you don't need to poop? I forgot what I was saying. there are people who, I mean, I'm not going to name names, but it's like this your whole life. You know, I'm going to go fly a kite. Somebody feels like they have to pipe in and go, well, you know, best time of year is to do it in May, not March. Everyone thinks it's March, but really it's May. And somebody else pipes in and goes, well, the only kites worth flying are the ones that are properly configured, like the ones they make in Japan, and they have better tails. So, you know, you can't use just any old kite. And then somebody else will pipe in and go, kites are dumb, you should do this, you know? And I'm just like, all right, I don't know, is there a law that says I have to listen to any of this? Can I just go fly my kite? And the answer is yeah, I can. So I'm gonna. It doesn't hurt any of you. Unless you get butt hurt that I didn't listen to your opinion about what time of day to go fly the damn thing. That's a hard thing for me to stop doing or to curb. And also I think people, they if they see you do that, they like what I'm talking about, then they think you're mad at them. It's like, no, I just don't feel like I have time for this. I've seen this enough. I've gone through this enough. I've done this pattern for long enough where I know we're wasting our time. So why are we doing it? What is the point? Let's hang out. Let's do stuff that's meaningful for both of us, and you know, there's plenty of opportunity for that. So yeah, new phase for that stuff. I found that most of the time, I do this too, right? Like if you always have to have some strong opinion on something somebody else is saying or doing, it's usually out of some kind of insecurity. I know I do. If I do that, I'll be honest with myself. I can tell when I'm feeling that way and when I'm not. I know the difference, and so we like to pretend that there isn't one, but there is. And so my goal is two-pronged, right? I want to get bunged up in less of everyone else's BS, but also offer less BS of my own in those situations. It's easy to see the fault that's getting in your way. It's sometimes hard to see how you're getting in others' ways. And so I'm going to try to be more mindful of that. I think there's a happy medium there. Like there's this thing when you're younger, you think, well, if I say this, they're going to be upset, even though it's the truth, and the relationship should be based on truth. But I just know if I say that, they're gonna get weird, and so you don't, and you hold it in, and then it just builds up, and then you just like, but I can't bring it up, or else they're gonna freaking lose it, or they're gonna be sad, or gonna be whatever. And knowing which of those things is appropriately kept to yourself, and which of those things should just be part of an open conversational relationship where you shouldn't have to be always on guard with that stuff. Like always holding back, always walking on eggshells, always dodging those things. I'm trying to just have less of that, but not have it come off as me being a jerk about it. I think it can be done. I want a little bit of, I don't want to be a sociopath, but I wouldn't mind just that little piece of it where not everything gets taken personally by everybody. Do you know what? My watch just said something. It's pausing my workout because I'm sitting. It's not much of a workout. It's just the dog. Do you get where I'm coming from here, though? I don't know the perfect answer to this. Maybe there isn't one. That's what it is, though. I need to feel less bad about it. If somebody's just wrong-headed about something, or I don't actually, you know what I mean? Like the thing I described earlier, I should be able to say, no, we're good, and not worry about how that affects them, because it shouldn't affect them to say, no, we're good, or this is already set, or don't worry about it, we got that part covered, or whatever it is. It's actually a hard relationship to forge. I realize that's why Kim and I think last as long as we do. So we have that relationship. But we also know when one of us has maybe pushed a little too hard, or we thought, was maybe a little too sarcastic and deserves a punch in the arm or something like that. Like, we haven't lost our ability to see those cues, but for the most part, it's like, hey, do you want, if Kim says, you want this stuff I made? And I'm like, I'm not in the mood. I don't like tomatoes. She doesn't get upset. She doesn't feel offended. She doesn't act like, I said something terrible. And the same goes for when I do something, one of my dumb things that I do, and she calls it out and laughs, and I just know what it is. It's just, that's the relationship. And you know what? There it is. That's what I want. I want that for everybody ever. And it's not reasonable, or it's not probable. It's possible, maybe, but not probable that I'm going to be able to forge that with every single human being I ever meet. Or no, I'm not even sure where all this is coming from, except I get some old friends who just are on a different path now that I've known for, most of my life. High school, my 20s, that are all just, we're just not where we were. And some of those people just don't get what I'm doing or where I'm at. And it's okay. It's just got to be how it is. What I need to do is not feel that need to just like explain it. Or, well, let me help. Why? Why do I need to explain it? I don't. Like if somebody says, well, I don't know what Scott does. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, well, he doesn't know. I don't have to explain it. It's literally not my job. It's like when people ask you a question they could Google. It's like, go look it up. You know what's getting really good at searches, internet searches? AI is getting really good at it. To the point that you're not going to get hallucinations. You're going to get search results if that's how you're using it. And it's extremely good at it. I spent 3 days trying to dink around with a mixer situation I had going that was driving me up a tree. I talked to everybody who had one. Nobody was quite sure what the deal was. I tried their own forums. I tried Reddit forums. I combed through all this stuff, and then it hit me. I'm like, well, two things hit me. First, I was like, well, no one has an answer to this. I'm just screwed. What I need to do here is not going to happen. I won't get into details. It's boring, but I was just like ready to say, all right, well, I guess I just live with this one weakness or whatever. And then I went, the one place I haven't asked is some AI to go search for me and just tell me. So I did that, and in seconds I had the answer, and I had a fix in place within about 2 minutes of implementing it. It was so stupid simple, yet it took me 2.5 days to find nothing before I finally asked that. That's powerful, man. I know we all have beef with various aspects of the AI revolution. I have major issues with copyright and art and all the slop that comes out of it and the deep fakes and the bullshit. Big issues. But the kind of tactical tool set that it provides for finding what you're looking for, getting the answer you need, verifying its authenticity, all that kind of stuff is so much faster with it, and more like it's doing all the heavy lifting. It's difficult to deny that that's a powerful thing. I'm not here to argue with anyone about it, though, because, again, that's another one of those arguments. Nobody's going to win. We're all going to fight about various aspects of it, and no one's going to move. There were people in 1994 when the web happened. I worked at a computer company, and I remember being completely over the hill excited about it. I was so stoked about the potential of the web. And there were a ton of people in my life, including other people in technical jobs, who were like, this is the worst thing that can happen. This is terrible. connected to everything all the time. Everyone's going to steal your data. This is the least secure thing in the history of the world. Blah 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 blah. And I'm not saying that they, didn't have real concerns. Clearly they did. But I just think we've just shifted to a new thing. This is just this version of that. We're just arguing about the same idea. It's just a new tech. Photoshop, when it happened, everyone's like, you'll never trust a photo again. Now we have AI, realistic image generation, where in theory people can't trust photos again, although for whatever reason I always can tell. Maybe that'll change, but even the best models with no errors on this, discernible errors on screen, I can just tell. But the point is, there will be plenty who are fooled by it. Just read a public Facebook thread at any given day and you'll be like, oh my gosh, dude, these people, they're mostly older and they don't get it. But I guess what I'm saying is, what's the difference? There isn't a big difference between that freak out and this freak out, just different aspects of it. Some of it's an escalation of old freakouts. Some of it's new. I'm just tired of the arguing. That's what it is. I'm tired of all the fighting. It's everything. It's politics. It's technology. It's technology and politics hanging out together. It's everybody's opinion on Zack Snyder versus James Gunn's Superman films, and just constant fighting. And we built these systems. We've built these sites and these systems to facilitate the fight, to encourage it. Why do we do that to ourselves? I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to have that fight. Problem is, this came up on a show the other day. I think it was TMS. We were talking about how, it was Tom was on. We were talking about how, in his case, my case, a lot of people's case, people I work with anyway, they made a fairly concerted effort early on in their content creation careers not to go hard negative or just be controversial or be that YouTube channel with shocking headlines and ridiculous thumbnails and all of that to get clicks, because we're not in it for that. It feels dirty. We don't like it. And I don't like that stuff. I hate it. But there's no doubt we're leaving money on the table, or have left it. That boat probably sailed for us anyway. But it's really unfortunate that that's the path that offers the most financial gain. So I'm very happy with what I've built and everybody around it, and all the stuff we have going on I'm very proud of it. But it's also not going to attract a bunch of angsty people who normally would want, or that want that other content, that want the edgy stuff, that want arguments and fighting and everything. If you look at the streamer drama that happens, that pirate software stuff, and anything Asmongold ever says, it feels like, and just all those guys, all they're doing is it's just fighting, ripping on each other, sometimes collaborating, later to have a falling out. Did you hear the latest about whatever? And it's just reacting to like streamer drama. And these are people that started out doing curated content. Now it's just everybody bitching at each other. And I think, well, I don't ever want to do that. But then I look at the views, the money, the potential revenue, the eyeballs, the hits, the links, all the stuff you get out of that. It's massive. But I can't do it. So I guess that money stays on the table for somebody else to get it. It's not my thing. The hard part, the thing I know for sure is there's a lot of people that would prefer the way our community does things, but because we're not the loudest and most obnoxious, we don't get seen by some of the people that may be trying to seek that out. This is always the challenge for me. How to reach those people in a very noisy room full of everybody trying to reach everybody. It's a complicated business. I wouldn't change it and my experience with it for the world. And there's aspects of it I'm very proud of, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what I think. I know I've been just very ridiculously in my own head lately. Come on, dog, we're going to keep moving. And Resume, here we go. Okay. And I need to probably get out of my own head a little. You know, I keep thinking doing a little like vent dumps here on the show would be the way to do that. But here on the diary anyway, but they just make me think of other things a lot. So I'm not sure it's doing what it was designed to do, but doesn't mean I'm going to stop. It just means you think one thing and you're not always right about what you're thinking. That's all I'm saying. Well, this is nice. They made a little path here, didn't they? We're over by the lake right now, so I can hear some birds, a couple of ducks. It's breezy, lots of cloud cover. Oh, there's the sun. It's nice though. Oh, there's a duck and a bird that does not look like it should be hanging out with ducks. Oh, they just put this up. Do not feed or touch birds. Feeding the birds around the lake can cause malnutrition, dependency, overpopulation, pollution, and disease. Makes sense. Please do not feed anything to the birds around the lake. Also, please do not feed domesticated ducks that have been dumped at this lake. Dumped. Feeding domesticated ducks encourages duck dumping, which is illegal in Utah. Oh, I get it. It's like leaving your cat in the wilderness. Pests must be leashed at all times and should not approach the wildlife. Thank you for keeping the lake ecosystem healthy. All right, well, that's new. That's cool. I adhere to your rules. I'm a rule-keeping guy. I believe in stuff. I believe in the sanctity of the social contract. There's a dude standing over here that it will not move, and I don't want to walk over there. Why won't he move? Someone's going to ask me why I have a fuzzy thing on my chest. I'm talking to it. All right, let's go. What is that thing? Ugh. Oh, that's a pump. In the winter, the way this lake works, it's a man-made lake. But in the winter, they have these bubblers. This thing is, I think, part of it why it's making sound. But out in the middle of the lake, you'll see these little areas where water's kind of bubbling. And what it is, it not only keeps the water circulating, which is a good way of keeping it cleaner, I guess. Oh, there's some ducks. You want those, Boom? It also in the winter keeps it from entirely freezing over. So you have these big spots where the bubblers kept the water moving and they don't freeze. Well, those ducks do not want anything to do with us, sweetheart. Come here. We can go kayaking. Not kayak. Is it kayaks? I guess they are kayaks. There's kayaks and canoes and those standing boards that you paddle on, paddle boards, and other different kind of boats. If you live on this lake, which is for millionaires now, but if you did, you can have your own little boats, your own watercraft. I don't think they're allowed to have motorized gas vehicles in there, but you could do like a battery powered, what are those called? They're like kind of like Sea-Doos, but they're battery powered. If I was out here and had that kind of cash, I would do that. Maybe I just need to have a negative YouTube channel, and then all my worries are over. Come on. All right, we're gonna head back. Oh, they scraped off all the crosswalk. Are they putting a light in here? Weird. The other day when I was walking, you guys heard that horrible sound? That was them scraping off the crosswalk paint. That must mean they're putting something here. People complain that no one stops there, so maybe they finally caved and said we're putting in a light. Come on. Anyway, yeah. I hope you guys like these check-ins on the show, and I hope you are okay with me taking you out with me on my little walks and stuff, because my schedule right now is pretty nutty. I got a lot of work done on Nerdtacular yesterday with some planning stuff and conversations and narrowing the date down, getting the contract started with venues and stuff. I am very much looking forward to, that was weird. Why'd they stop? I wasn't crossing. Some people are too cautious. Yeah, I got a lot going on there, and it's all coming together. Feeling real good about it. Trying to avoid the too many cooks in the kitchen thing. A lot of people want to help, which is great, and I'm going to use them, but are you peeing or pooping? Okay. But just trying to keep that in mind. You know, I did this for 10 years. I have some learned lessons that I want to apply here. Oh, they moved this crosswalk too. They must be changing this whole thing. I do not know what that means, unless they're just painting it. But they basically scrubbed, like erased the previous markers for the crosswalk, which is actually a little weird because am I even legally walking across am I jaywalking now? I don't know how this works. You know, we live in a modern time with modern ideas that perhaps have flown over my head today, this day, August the 14th, 15th, whatever it is. Oh, if it's the 15th, it's my brother's birthday. I gotta call him. I think it is today. Well, good reminder. Thanks everybody for listening. He's gonna do it. If you got any questions or thoughts, just go to the website, frogpants.com/diary, and there's a contact button. You can send me your questions and your comments and your nude. Just kidding. Don't send those. All right. We'll see you later.